Bulls working it. Lobs into King. Low right. King again.
When we talk about professional basketball in America, most people think of the NBA, names like Magic, Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. But while the men's game grew into a global powerhouse, there was another story unfolding, a story of women who refused to be left out. It wasn't easy. For decades, women's basketball was overlooked. Professional opportunities were scarce, media coverage was minimal, and many of the most talented athletes in the world had to go overseas just to keep playing. And yet, through grit, skill, and determination, a group of pioneers built something that lasts to this day, the Women's National Basketball Association. Tonight, we'll journey through the lives and legacies of three of its brightest stars, Sheryl Swoopes, Lisa Leslie, and Cynthia Cooper. Their talent, leadership, and courage shaped the WNBA into what it is today. This is the story of the women who built the WNBA. Before 1997, American women didn't have a stable professional basketball league of their own. Some played briefly in smaller leagues like the ABL, but the salaries were low, the games were hard to find on TV, and stability was never guaranteed. Most players went overseas to Italy, Russia, Spain, where fans adored them, but it meant living far from home and family. Then came David Stern, the NBA commissioner who believed women's basketball deserved a platform in the United States. With the NBA's backing, the WNBA launched in the summer of 1997 with the slogan, "We got next." But a league is only as strong as its stars. To survive, the WNBA needed players who could not only dominate on the court, but capture the hearts of fans. And it found exactly that in three women who became the foundation of the league: Sheryl Swoopes, Lisa Leslie, and Cynthia Cooper. Sheryl Swoopes holds a unique distinction. She was the very first player signed by the WNBA. Imagine the symbolism. The league was saying, "This is who we want to represent us." Born in Brownfield, Texas in 1971, Swoopes grew up playing basketball with her brothers on dusty outdoor courts. She wasn't handed anything. She had to fight for recognition, eventually earning a scholarship to Texas Tech. And it was there, in 1993, that she delivered one of the greatest performances in college basketball history, scoring 47 points in the NCAA championship game and leading Texas Tech to a national title. That day, she became a household name. When the WNBA began, Swoopes joined the Houston Comets, and from the start, she was a star. She helped lead the team to 4 straight championships from 1997 to 2000. A 3-time MVP, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and the first woman ever to have a Nike signature shoe, the iconic Air Swoopes. But Swoopes was more than just stats. She was a role model. In 1997, she gave birth to her son just before the league's first season and returned to the court within weeks. For many fans, especially mothers, her story resonated. She wasn't just a basketball player, she was proof that women could balance motherhood and professional sports at the highest level. Sheryl once said, "I hope young girls can look at me and see that you don't have to choose. You can be both a mother and a professional athlete." For fans who grew up watching Michael Jordan in the NBA, Sheryl Swoopes was the WNBA's Jordan, a complete player, a champion, and a global icon. If Sheryl Swoopes was the WNBA's first face, Lisa Leslie was its brightest superstar. Standing 6'5", she brought a rare combination of power, skill, and charisma. Born in Compton, California in 1972, Leslie was teased as a child for being so tall. But instead of shrinking into the background, she embraced her height, turning it into her greatest strength. In high school, she once scored 101 points in just one half. At USC, she became a 3-time All-American, and soon after, she became the centerpiece of the Los Angeles Sparks. Fans in LA finally had their own basketball queen. Leslie's career was filled with highlights: 2 WNBA championships, 3 MVP awards, and 8 All-Star selections. But the moment etched forever in history came on July 30th, 2002. The Sparks were playing the Miami Soul. Leslie grabbed a pass on a fast break, soared through the lane, and dunked the ball. It was the first dunk in WNBA history. For many, it was a revelation. The women's game wasn't just about fundamentals. It was about athleticism, power, and excitement. Beyond the court, Leslie became a crossover star. She modeled, appeared on magazine covers, and even worked in broadcasting. She showed young girls they didn't have to choose between being athletic and glamorous. And she wasn't just about club success. Leslie is also a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, proudly representing Team USA from 1996 to 2008. Her presence gave the WNBA legitimacy. Her image made headlines. And her dominance brought fans into arenas who might never have otherwise watched the women's game. Lisa Leslie wasn't just a player, she was an icon. She showed the world that women could dominate sports while also breaking barriers in culture and media. Cynthia Cooper's story is different and maybe the most inspiring of all. Born in Watts, Los Angeles, Cooper didn't get the same spotlight early on. After college, she had no WNBA to play in, so she went overseas. For nearly a decade, she starred in Italy, becoming a legend in European basketball circles. By the time the WNBA launched in 1997, Cooper was already 34 years old. Most thought her best years were behind her. Instead, she became the league's first true superstar. Joining the Houston Comets, she led her team to 4 straight championships, winning Finals MVP all 4 times. She was relentless, scoring, attacking, hitting clutch shots when it mattered most. Her style was fierce, quick crossovers, fearless drives, and deadly mid-range jumpers. Fans who loved the intensity of Jordan or Kobe saw that same fire in Cooper. She also became the league's first regular season MVP and scoring champion. In many ways, she carried the WNBA in its earliest days, making sure fans came back not just for the novelty, but for the competition. Cooper once said, "I had to wait longer than most to play here. So when I finally got my chance, I wasn't going to waste it." For older fans, her story was particularly relatable. She proved that greatness wasn't just for the young, it was for anyone who refused to quit. Together, Sheryl Swoopes, Lisa Leslie, and Cynthia Cooper gave the WNBA its foundation. They were the league's Jordan, Magic, and Bird, a trio that lifted an entire sport into the national spotlight. Their championships, MVPs, and highlights proved that women's basketball was worthy of respect. But more than that, they inspired a new generation. Players like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Tamika Catchings, and Candace Parker all grew up watching these pioneers. And today's stars, Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, are carrying the torch because of the paths Swoopes, Leslie, and Cooper carved. Without these women, there is no WNBA. Without their excellence, the league might not have survived its first decade. Today, the WNBA is stronger than ever, celebrating nearly 3 decades of history, with record attendance, national TV deals, and stars recognized around the world. But it's important to remember how it all began, with Sheryl Swoopes, the first face, Lisa Leslie, the superstar and the icon, and Cynthia Cooper, the warrior and the champion. They didn't just play basketball, they changed basketball. They fought for opportunity, they inspired millions, and they built a league that continues to thrive. So the next time you watch a WNBA game, remember, the story of today's stars begins with the legends of yesterday, the women who built the WNBA. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into basketball history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the game's greatest heroes.